A tired mechanic steps in when a night cashier at a grocery store is blamed over a coupon and pays a stranger's charge with his boot money. The quiet choice shifts the mood of the aisle and sparks small changes. A teen bagger finds his voice, a nurse covers a bus fare, and a manager rewrites a policy. As the mechanic walks away with cracked boots and an almost empty envelope, the story reveals the cost he carries without turning him into a hero. Just a quick note before we begin: hit like, share this with a friend, and subscribe for more. Also, let me know in the comments which country you're watching from. It always amazes me how far these stories travel. The night cashier at Valley Mart hears the cooler's hum like a low song. Her vest hangs off one bony shoulder. The scanner glass has a nick at the edge. She runs a soft cloth over it, between customers, quick, like a secret habit. A rubber band circles her wrist. She snaps it once, light, to wake up when the lights feel like they blur. She greets everyone the same. A nod, a dry smile. How are you? Her voice is small but steady. No one really answers. People talk to their phones instead. She scans milk, bread, the family-sized chips that always rustle. A teen bagger with a buzz cut stacks boxes near her feet and glances at her hands. He double knots the plastic bags when they look heavy. A man in greasy coveralls waits at the end of the lane with a small basket. He is broad-shouldered, mid-30s. With rough hands and tired eyes, he shifts his weight from one foot to the other. His boots squeak a little when he moves. He watches the line the way a mechanic watches an engine. Not tense, just listening. It starts when a man in a navy suit slaps a tray of steaks on the belt. His shoes are glossy in the harsh light. He taps a black card on the reader before the cashier even scans. He has a coupon, printed and folded. He places it on the counter like a case file. The cashier scans the meat. The code for the coupon does not ring right. She tries again. She frowns at the small box on the screen where the numbers jam each other. "Ma'am," the suited man says. It clearly says any pack. He points at the fine print with a clean nail. "This is any pack." The cashier reads the line twice. She is new to the night shift. Day shift. The manager stands behind her at times and hits the keys. Night shift is just her and the kid with the buzz cut. She tries a different key. The register makes a soft beep. That means no. The belt keeps moving, though. Nothing really moves. A woman in a blue scrub top behind the man checks her watch. A baby somewhere sighs, a long, squeaky sound. The buzz-cut kid shifts the bags and looks at the floor. The suited man lifts his voice, not yelling, bigger. "This is ridiculous. Why are you making this hard? Just scan it right." The cashier's cheeks go a little gray. She presses the call button for a manager. The lane light should flash. It does not. She presses again and again. The line has 6 people and a sighing baby. The night makes people thinner. Everyone leans forward. The scrub-top woman takes a step and then stops, like she almost said something and then swallowed it. The manager's light stays dark. He is somewhere in the back office, counting cigarettes or watching a training video while eating noodles from a mug. The cashier knows he does not like the sound of raised voices. He waits for them to vanish. The suited man leans on the counter now. He says the word incompetent softly, 3 times, as if trying it on. He taps the coupon. "Look, it's your job to read. I don't have time for this." He glances at his glossy watch. The baby starts to cry. A box of cereal tips on the belt and stops at the edge, top heavy. The man in coveralls sees the cashier's hand shake around the receipt tape. He sees the jitter at the corner of her eye. He watches the little nick in the glass reflect the lights. He knows nicks. He knows how small things make other things break. He says he can cover it. Not loud, just enough to be heard over the hum. "I can cover it," he adds, "because sometimes you need the words twice." The suited man turns. He looks the coveralls up and down. The boots, the oil, the scar on the knuckle. He lifts one eyebrow. "You don't even know how much it is," he says. "It's fine," the man in coveralls says. He takes a thin envelope from his back pocket. It has a rubber band around it and the words "Boots Money" in blue ink. He pulls out bills. He does not count. He slides them across the counter. The cashier blinks. Her eyes go damp the way you turn a faucet, a tiny bit, and it runs clear. She hesitates. Store policy says do not take cash that is not tied to the order. Store policy has a lot of rules for small hands. She looks at the line of faces. She looks at the stakes. She looks at the bills. Then she looks at the barcode, as if the black lines could tell her what to do. The man in coveralls nods. Put it toward the order, he says. Make the screen happy. He adds a short smile so she knows it is a joke, and so she can step into the space a joke gives. She types a code. The screen clears its throat and then accepts the money. The coupon, now kicked into the math by the override, slides into place. The number on the display drops. The suited man looks at it, confused that the fight had a door. The air in the aisle loosens. Someone exhales like they had been holding a brick in their chest. The baby goes quiet and sucks on one fist. The buzz-cut kid restacks the cereal box with both hands. The suited man takes his steaks and moves his jaw, like the bite was too big. He does not say thanks. He does not have to. He leaves with his glossy shoes. The cashier wipes the scanner glass again. Slower, this time. She looks at the man in coveralls and does not quite meet his eyes. Thank you, she says. It is plain. It is hard word to say. Sure, he says. He adds, because people always want to give something back. You got the next person fast. That helps. She folds the thin receipt into a square, so neat it could be jewelry. She tucks it under the drawer. She hands him his bread and eggs and the bag of carrots that always make wet spots on the belt. The scrub-top woman pays and stares at the man's boots. She has seen feet swell after long shifts. She has seen broken toes. She opens her mouth, then closes it. She gives a small nod to the cashier and keeps her change in her palm, like she is not sure if she needs it again soon. The man in coveralls moves slow, like it cost him something to move fast earlier. He puts his groceries in one bag. He double knots it the way the buzzcut kid does. He tucks the thin envelope back into his pocket with 2 bills left that can buy coffee and maybe a bus ride. He nods at the kid. The kid nods back an inch. In the parking lot, his right boot squeaks because the sole has split. He looks down at it and laughs once. Silent. He sets the bag on the hood of a dented pickup and opens the door. On the seat is a folded paper from work with a red stamp. Fix footwear this week. There is also a crayon drawing of a truck with smoke coming out the back. A kid drew it for him once, and he keeps it there even though the edges curl. He sits, and the seat foam sighs. He reaches into the glove box and takes out a little tube of glue. He squeezes a line along the sole and holds it shut. His breath fogs the window. He counts to 60. He knows glue times because he fixes small things at home when they do not have money to replace them. On the visor is a card from a clinic with a date circled in yellow highlighter. On the dash is a folded slip from a last paycheck, missing the overtime he expected, still in dispute. He puts the envelope labeled Boots money back into his pocket. It is almost empty. He is surprised by how light it feels. He lets his hand rest there anyway, like pressure can put the value back in. He turns the key. The truck coughs and then catches. The parking lot lights buzz. A shopping cart rolls on a slow diagonal across the asphalt as if it knows where it wants to go. 2 days later, the bagger with a buzz cut tries it himself. A tall man with a hat is loud about a bag of apples with a small bruise. He says he will call someone about this. The cashier's hands float for a second over the keys. The kid takes a step forward and says, "Sir, we can swap the bag." "It's okay." He says it the same calm way he heard it before. He does not look at the floor this time. The man in the hat blinks. He takes the new bag. He nods, without meaning to. That night, the woman in the scrub top rides the late bus. A teenager climbs on with no fare and looks at the floor like he lost it. The driver waits, hand out, tired. The woman taps her card twice. "Got him," she says and waves it off. She does not make it a moment. She tucks her card away and stares out the window at her own face in the glass. In the glass. By the weekend, the manager prints a short memo no one argues with. It says in plain letters, "Scan what you see. Honor what is clear. Get help sooner." He tapes it near the register. He also makes a column of phone numbers for the night. He adds his own at the top with a note, "Call anyway." He brings the cashier a tea bag from the break room and leaves it by the scanner. He nods to the buzz-cut kid and says, "Good job on the apples." The kid blushes into his collar. The suited man comes back once, days later, and stays in the self-check aisle. He scans each item like it might break. He reads each number like he is learning a new language. He bags his own steaks. He glances at the back of the store, then at the front door, then at nothing. The cashier stops skipping her break on purpose that week. She pours hot water over the tea bag. She holds the paper tab between finger and thumb and watches the color change. She eats a granola bar. She does not rush. She leaves the rubber band on her wrist The man in coveralls works the Saturday shift and stands longer than he meant to. He wraps tape around a hose that cracked. He takes a call from someone who asks when their car will be done. He says soon and means it. He swallows a stretch of water from a warm bottle. He walks on the glued boot like it's a careful lie that no one will test. He does not make a story out of it in his head. He does not tell his co-workers. He does not post. He folds the work paper with the red stamp and slides it under the truck's sun visor. He circles a catalog page for boots and then draws a little star next to the cheaper pair he did not want, because that is what is next. He eats carrots from a bag at lunch and thinks about nothing at all for a full minute. He goes back to Valley Mart once to pick up a socket set on sale in the small tools aisle. The cashier sees him and looks down fast the way you do when you do not want someone to think you are staring. She rings him up. She taps one extra key and says, "Employee discount, today only," like it is a joke. It is not her job to do that. He does not argue. He puts the small box in his pocket like it is a handshake you can carry. All week, the hum of the coolers sings the same song. People come and go under the hard lights. Some wear suits and some wear scrubs and some wear boots with soles that squeak when the glue lets go. Most of the time, nothing big happens. Most of the time, small things put their shoulders together. All of it hangs in his week like a soft weight he does not mind. The envelope gets a new rubber band. The glove box gets a pack of cheaper insoles. The truck gets a wash when it rains and he parks under the tree on his street on purpose. On his floor at home, the wet boots lean together by the heater. A small river of glue shines at the seam. A paper bag sits on the counter with bread and 2 eggs left. The folded receipt from that night is pressed flat under a magnet. The coolers at Valley Mart hum a block away. The sound never stops. He closes his eyes and hears it anyway. The boots dry. The seam holds. The night keeps going, softer now.